burn or are we feeling the burn? So before we get started, I wanted to reiterate, I know some of you guys already have heard this, but the Skylark was gracious enough to let us use this wonderful, wonderful venue tonight. So we were wondering if you guys could all go up to the bar, get a drink, tip your bartender really well. They would super, super appreciate it. So if you could do that, please do. Thank you, Skylark. So with that, before we get started with the Barnstorm, there's a really, really great guy named TC Bell. Some of you might know him. He's kind of a mainstay here at the Skylark Lounge, and he is doing an awesome event tomorrow about assembly and convention, and he wanted to do a little preview of that. So TC, if you wanted to come to the stage and give a little preview, that'd be awesome.
Yo, what's going on? Thank you everybody for coming out. Make some noise if you were at the caucus on March 1st. All right, good job. Thank you guys so much for spending all that time in those long, excruciating lines to make it to your caucus to vote for Bernie Sanders. Because you know what? We've actually been here every single week at the Skylark Lounge since last July, having meetings, talking to people about the caucus on March 1st. So it's so good to see that the turnout was historic. We had a bigger turnout than in 2008, which the Democratic Party of Colorado did not expect. They were expecting a lower turnout. So good job, you guys. But that whole caucus system, that actually isn't done yet. March 1st was just step one in a multi-step process to get Bernie Sanders delegates awarded to the National Convention so they can go on the floor in Philadelphia this summer and make Bernie Sanders the Democratic nominee for president. So you guys turning out for Bernie and giving Bernie a 60 to 40% win over Hillary Clinton on March 1st was huge. But what we did is we essentially took a preference poll and then we elected delegates. Make some noise in here if you're a delegate or an alternate to your county convention. Ooh, that's a lot of people. Make some noise if you're just a Denver County delegate or an alternate. All right, because guys, we're the only ones left. Everybody else, all the other counties, except two other ones, have had their conventions. So it's all on us now in Denver County to be as organized as we possibly can going into this convention this coming Saturday, so we can get Bernie all the delegates possible. Okay, now, here's a couple things. If you are a delegate or an alternate to the convention or the assembly, or if you know someone that's a delegate or an alternate, it is crucial that you're there. You have to be there. The key to Bernie's success is simply his supporters showing up at the times they need to be counted on. And this Saturday, if you're a delegate to the Denver County Convention, Bernie is counting on you being there. Alternates, please be there early. I was just at a meeting because I'm going to be registering people so it's not the chaos we had on March 1st. If you're an alternate, you must be there as early as possible because essentially the way they wrote the rules are once all the Bernie delegates have their alternates get seated and all the Clinton people get their people seated, if there's still room for more alternates, it doesn't matter the preference of the candidate. You'll just be seated. So we have the opportunity to make Bernie Sanders' numbers go up from that 60%. Okay, and this is crucial, crucial. Now, what we're gonna do then is elect delegates to go on to two separate conventions, a state convention and then a congressional district convention. Those will both be held in April. Essentially, these were all the delegates to Philadelphia will be elected at those two conventions coming up. That's the last step of the process. We have this thing called a congressional district convention for each of the 7 congressional districts throughout the state of Colorado. 43 delegates to the national convention come out of those conventions. This is where we as the Bernie Sanders supporters get the most bang for our buck. Because essentially, in Congressional District 1, which is right here, you have about 600 delegates sending 8 delegates to the national convention for Bernie Sanders. Whereas at the state level, you have about 4,000 delegates sending 24 delegates to the national convention. So see what I'm talking about? We get more bang for our buck. So if we're better organized at the county level going into the convention, we can get Bernie a lot of numbers coming out to the national convention. So that's all I want to talk about. Tomorrow night, we're going to go into more detail of this whole process. So if you're a delegate or you're an alternate, even if it's not in Denver County, even if you got elected to the congressional district convention or the state convention in another county, please tell your friends to come here tomorrow night because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about things like Robert's Rules of Order. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I'm going to hand it over to Hannah because she rocks.
Thank you, TC. So, my name is Hannah Fertig, and I am from Bernie headquarters in Burlington, Vermont. I'm actually originally from Boulder, Colorado. So I got my start with Bernie Sanders. I found out about him about 1.5 years ago, and I was super interested in what he was doing because I, like a lot of millennials and a lot of others, was very disillusioned with the whole political process, the candidates that were up at that point, and I knew in my heart that there was something better, and the better alternative was Bernie Sanders. So the day my friend introduced me to him, I was just like, how did I not know about him before? How does the whole nation, how does the whole world not know about Bernie Sanders? They do now. So, I started student organizing at CU Boulder, met some really fantastic people. I see some people in the audience I've known since July 29th or earlier. So really fortunate to know these folks. And going forward, I ended up working for the campaign. I'm the regional digital director for Southern Midwest-ish states, something like a region like that. I don't know, wherever they send me. So basically, if you get a lot of emails, they might be from me. And so tonight, I wanted to come here because I am a Colorado native, so I know how fantastic you are and how good the programs we have in Colorado are, because I saw them from day one, and I still see the same people today that I saw in July. And that really speaks to this movement, because I don't know that other candidates have that. So I just wanted to take a moment and ask the crowd, whose first political candidate or something politically involved is Bernie Sanders? Like, who has never been involved in politics before Bernie came in? Wow. That's incredible. I mean, that's like 1/3 of the room.
Thank you, first-timers.
Thank you, first-timers. Seriously, this would not be possible without any of you. So, I guess my second question is, I know that Bernie has a really cool fundraising system where he likes to have people chip in $1, $3, $27, maybe $2,700 if they're feeling really generous. So whose first political contribution was Bernie Sanders? Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you. As staff, we really appreciate it. But beyond that, I just wanted to take some time and look around this room and look at how many people are here supporting the revolution, and to thank you all for being here, for continuing the momentum. I know that Colorado voted almost a month ago, so the fact that we're still turning out in numbers like this is absolutely incredible. So thank you all for being here, first and foremost. So with that, we've seen a lot since July 29th, or since the beginning of this campaign, regardless of when that was. I know that going in, I think in February of last year, 97% of Americans didn't know who Bernie Sanders was. And so for us to come this far, we've won 10 contests, including Democrats Abroad, which we happened to win yesterday. Of course, Colorado. And before that, you know, in Iowa, we had a virtual tie. The fact that we came even to a virtual tie when half the people of Iowa might not have known their name before staff and volunteers started getting the word out. That's incredible. To go from zero name recognition to having half of the vote in Iowa, that's incredible. And then going forward to New Hampshire, we won by 20%. That is no coincidence. The people of New Hampshire know Bernie and they know what he's capable of. And then, you know, Nevada, that was awesome. We did not know how well we were going to be doing there. South Carolina, we made some ground. Going forward to Super Tuesday, we won 4 states by really, really good margins, and that was incredible. And it was thanks to your guys' work and the work across the country that went in. And now, we've had some more contests since then. We've hit a couple of bumps in the road. I think we all know March 15th was a little bit disappointing. But I will say the good thing about that is March 15th was a little bit of a road bump, but we made some really good ground. We had virtual ties in Missouri, Illinois, and we also made great ground in a state like North Carolina, which we were not sure how we were going to do. We were only down by 15 points, and in the scheme of things, that's huge. So, where are we today? As a national campaign, I can say, I just came from Burlington, we're feeling amazing. I mean, the burn is not at all dying. I know that mainstream media will say, Bernie's campaign is done, he should just drop out now. But we know that that is not true. It's simply not. Not true at all. So, where we are today, we're kind of at this halfway point. It's really, really cool. Tonight we have Idaho, Utah, and Arizona voting, which we think we're doing really well in. And so, I mean, results will be trickling in, so keep me posted, yell at the stage, tell me how it's doing. But we feel great about that as a national campaign. And the cool thing is, we have over 2,000 delegates left at stake. I think we have something like 2,020 delegates that have not yet gone through their primary contest. And there are 28 contests, including territories, that have not gone. And I gotta say, by our estimate, 24 of those are looking pretty good for us. So it's a matter of how big we can win. So don't let the media get you or your friends down. Don't let the naysayers get the best of you. Know that this revolution is 100% alive and well, and we still need to keep it going. We need to keep contacting voters in states that haven't gone. We need to keep the donations flowing in so we can continue to do events like this and to reach out to voters and use all of our systems to the best of our ability. And beyond that, we need you all to be as involved as you were on February 29th. I mean, I know the levels of volunteer commitment in the state are astounding, and it was among the best in the country, and I say that as someone looking at numbers at national. So thank you, Colorado. So I guess that brings us to right now. Are you guys feeling pretty good? Were you feeling a little bit down before this? Are you feeling a little better? Knowing that the best is yet to come? So I'm super pumped, and I think that at this point, what we really, really are trying to focus on as a national campaign is making every state as great as Colorado was. Because Colorado is really the example we like to point everyone towards. We say, look at how motivated they were in Colorado. Look at how many phone calls they made. How can we do that in every single state across the United States that hasn't voted yet? And how can you guys lead those efforts? Because I'm from Colorado, and I know that you guys are leaders, and you can make really, really, really incredible things. So, voter contact machine. How many of you have heard this term thrown around before by the campaign? Maybe your friends have started using it. It's kind of a weird term. But it's the voter contact machine is essentially how we're getting people to vote for Bernie and the numbers that they are. So, the voter contact machine can take a lot of forms. It can take the form, I don't know, actually, does anyone know by a show of hands what our #1 form of voter contact is? phone banking. Did somebody say phone banking? Because I think that is most definitely how we're reaching the largest amount of voters in this country. And phone banking is the #1 way that our campaign is moving. This is how people understand what's going on. This is how we know who supports Bernie, how to get them to their caucuses or to their polling locations. And this is the main way that we really can connect with voters. And I have a fun statistic for you. I heard this yesterday at the Barnstorm I was doing. Someone said that a voter is 80% more likely to vote for Bernie Sanders from folks like you calling them and saying, hey, have you heard about Bernie Sanders? Do you know where to vote for him? Do you know how you're going to get there? And it's incredible because sometimes people have never thought about it. They think their vote doesn't matter. They think that Bernie will get elected because everyone else is voting for him. But they don't know that they need to go to the polls and vote for them. And having that one-on-one conversation on the phone is the best possible thing that you can do. And now Colorado has voted, and we're in the position that we can really, really help other states. So basically, moving forward, we want people to call out of state as much as they can, with as much ferocity as they can, put their best Bernie convincing voice on, like, hey, he's really not a communist. I don't know what you heard. I don't know where that was in the media. He's not a communist. He is in fact a democratic socialist, and he is going to help you. And this is why I support him, and really, really convince and persuade people that are on the fence that they need to be supporting Bernie, and maybe some of them will even be so compelled. I talked to someone yesterday who was calling, and the person on the other end picked up, and he said, hey, are you going to vote for Bernie? And the guy's like, I don't know, like he seems okay, I think he's a communist, but you know, whatever. It's like, no, he's actually a democratic socialist, and he's really cool. These are his policies.
He doesn't want to take your civil liberties.
He doesn't want to take your civil liberties.
He wants to give you civil liberties.
He wants to give you civil liberty. So, you know, and from that conversation, the guy was like, wow, you're right. Bernie Sanders sounds really cool. And he went as far as he's now signed up to volunteer for the campaign, which is pretty incredible given that he barely knew who Bernie Sanders was before that phone conversation. So, this is where you all come in, and I will be taking any questions at the end regarding phone banking and all of this. So, where we are right now is we know that Denver specifically has huge capacity to call people. We know that you guys have made more calls than a lot of other states combined even. Like, it is phenomenal. And we track these numbers and we see what's going on. So, what I'm gonna ask for you right now is kind of a big ask. Are you ready for it? Yeah. Are you sure you're ready for it? All right. So, the most important thing we can do is phone bank, right? So how do we start phone banking? By a show of hands, how many have phone banks in the past or hosted a phone bank? Wow, that's awesome. So look at all of these people around you who know what they're doing in regards to phone banking. That's incredible. So what I want to do is kind of take a moment and say, hey, have you ever thought about hosting a phone bank? Is that something that's gone through your mind? And I wanted to pick on 3 people who have hosted a phone bank before. And can you tell us how it went and what kind of good stuff you did there, maybe the kind of people you met? Just give us a really cool rundown, introduce yourself, say where you're from, and we'll go from there. So 3 people wanted to raise their hands. That would be spectacular. All right, want to come on up?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey. I've hosted a lot of phone banks actually. Hey, okay, sorry, I'm really soft spoken. Oh my gosh. Okay, I've hosted a lot of phone banks. Yeah.
Tell us why do you support Bernie in the first place? I guess this is the first question.
I support Bernie because he is the man for the people, in short. And I am the people, and you are all the people, and that's why we're all here. So I got involved in the campaign back in December, and that's when I actually hosted my first phone bank. And from there, the ball really got rolling. I had one every week from December until March 1st. Yeah. So I met a lot of people, and a lot of people showed up late, and a lot of people didn't show up. But of all the people who did show up, it was totally awesome. One night we had, I think, 17 people. And yeah, it was great. I offered cocktails and non-alcoholic beverages as well, and healthy snacks. I always have healthy snacks at my phone banks. And I actually made really, really great friends from random volunteers who have showed up at my phone banks, and we've gone to concerts and out to bars and continued our friendship. So that's probably one of the best things that came out of all the phone banking. But yeah, that one phone bank where we had 17 people, we made so many calls. We called for 4 hours. Yeah. And I think each volunteer made an average of 100 calls, so that is a lot of calling.
Thank you very much, Michelle. That's awesome. And can we get a round of applause for how much phone banking you did in 4 hours? Thank you. So now, at this point, I'm looking for 2 more people who want to say why they're supporting Bernie and if they've hosted an event or a phone bank, how it went, and kind of going forward, if they want to do it again. Just give us some insight, but especially tell us why you're volunteering for Bernie, because I think that's the most important thing, because phone banking happens when you're excited about volunteering. Come on up.
President I ever voted for was John Kennedy, and through the years I've never seen a candidate that I have been so excited about. I was excited about Obama. I worked on his campaign, but there is nothing that has ever come along like Bernie Sanders, ever. I mean, I get emotional. So most of my phone calling I've done a couple of phone bank hosting, and I've hosted some canvassing, but most of my calling I've actually been doing from my own home. And I think one of the cool things about doing a phone bank is you can train people, and then people can go on their own time and do phone banking. A lot of times we may only have 30 minutes. You know, that's the way our lives go. But that works then. If you say, okay, I've got 30 minutes, I can go and we can do on the online phone banking. Somebody can train you how to do that. It's so effective. And so I urge everybody to try it. And you can find a way to get trained. The campaign can train you. I urge you to do it. You get a few nasty people. I had that last night. I got called a communist and a few other names. But for the most part, you're getting good people, and you do have a chance to make a difference. I mean, I saw that in some of the calls I made last night into Washington, and some that I made today into Idaho. They didn't know where their location was. They didn't know what the time was. There are great tools where you can have that window ready to open. You can put your address in, you can tell them, and people appreciate that because you're taking the time to really, And at that website that I get to tell a lot of people to go to when I do get people that say, well, I like Hillary, I like Bernie, you know, whatever, and I tell my reasons why I think Bernie's the best candidate. I don't talk against Hillary, I just say, this is about Bernie. But the feeltheburn.org is so good, and if you haven't gone there, do it, because it's got these squares, and then you can click on those squares and see where Bernie stands on those and how he's voted. And I tell people, I say, okay, if you don't know if you're agreeing with Bernie, then go to there and see. If you like what he says, then that's your person. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. That was spectacular. I feel like I don't need to give the rest of the event because that was such a phenomenal way of explaining phone banking and everything that goes on during that time. So thank you very much. All right. One more person, if you want to share why you're pumped about Bernie and your volunteer experience hosting phone banks and whatnot. I think I see a gentleman right over there if you want to come on up.
Thanks. Oh, my name is Nate.
Hi, Nate.
Hi, everybody. So I started volunteering back in January. I was going to go to Iowa, but my schedule didn't work out. So I decided, well, that I can still help while I'm here. So that's when I started phone banking. I started volunteering. I haven't hosted any events yet, but what I've done is I've tried to bring my friends into the process. My main friend who I talked about Bernie all the time with is actually sitting at the bar with me right there. Bobby came out. So now we support each other and we encourage each other. And I guess I know I'm preaching to the choir here because you all came out on a Tuesday night. Excuse me. On a Tuesday night, you all came out to you took some time out already. But there are a lot of your friends and family who feel the same way about the issues as you do, but they may not have quite figured out how much of an impact they have and their own time has, and their own words have, like the woman before me was saying. So what I wanted to leave you with and encourage you about with volunteering is to really let people know that like she said, the people that you call, it's like an 80% chance that you're going to make a gigantic difference. They'll know their polling place. They'll know, oh, the vote's tomorrow? I thought it wasn't until November, etc., etc. It really does matter. Every single call you make, one 60-second phone call could double your vote, basically. And you guys know that, but you got to tell your friends, and you have to include them, and you also have to let them know that it's not enough to watch the articles come in and click on all the articles on Facebook and go, oh, I agree with that one, I agree with that one. That's great. But then from there, you got to do something, because I think what we've seen where he's like a little bit behind the pace with Hillary right now, not as much as people say, but he is behind the pace. And reading the articles you agree with isn't enough to get him above the pace. So you gotta bring your friends in and tell them what they do matters. It's not enough to spectate. You gotta actually make time for it. We all have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. Make the time. If you want it to happen, all you have to do is make the time. Do something.
Thank you very much, Nate. We appreciate you and thank you for all that you're doing. All right, and I think there was someone who I've seen very eagerly behind this light. I'm not quite sure who it is because I can't see behind the light. I think I see your hand. Come on up.
All right.
Woo!
I didn't want people to just hear. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't want you to all just hear from just the Gen Xers and the millennials. I'm 68 years old. I was playing for Gene McCarthy, going door-to-door campaigning. Back then, I was doing door-to-door in 1972 on the south side of Chicago, which was a real experience. For George McGovern, when I saw the leadership of the Democratic Party desert the candidate that the people of the Democratic Party had picked. We don't want that to happen again. I think this is so important that we regain the soul of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is what Bernie Sanders has been representing from the time he was mayor of Burlington till now. It always has been, and the leadership has moved away. I saw it move away. I saw it pick out people like the Clintons, and I saw them desert the base over the last 35 years. It's been appalling. Bernie Sanders' democratic socialism is what Franklin D. Roosevelt was represented. So I think this is really, really important to keep in mind when we approach people and when they give us this he's a commie nonsense. We're back to the origins of the Democratic Party. We're the base of the Democratic Party. We always have been, and God willing, we will be again.
I think that it's our time too. And so with that, I just kind of wanted to go through and say that if you've never phone banked before, and it's a really foreign concept to you, and you're a little bit nervous, you're not quite sure what to do, you're not sure who's gonna guide you through, we've got the resources. We've got them on lock. So, the first step to phone banking, I want to go through and just kind of give you a little overview so you kind of know what you're getting into when you're making calls. So what you do, you go to berniesanders.com/phone bank, and it's going to take you to a site that has live trainings at the top. It's got a guide to go through and recorded videos right in the bottom. It tells you how to log in. You can click on the state that you want to call. It puts the states in order of date that they're voting, so we always advise that you call the states at the top, because that's where you can make the most impact and really tell people where their polling locations are. So once you feel comfortable with that, you'll be able to kind of see what's going on in terms of phone banking and how the whole process kind of flows. And it's a little bit intimidating to get started, I know that much. But once you get going, I know people that spend 2 hours a day making calls or more every single day. It's kind of addicting because people do want to reach out and they want to help their fellow voters and their constituents, and it's really, really important that they do so, and they let them know how they can make a difference, how to get to their polling location, as all of these folks have said. And so when I'm phone banking, you'll run into those times when people, again, don't know why they're phone banking. And I like to get a little bit personal with them. Like I like to say, hey, I'm 20 years old, I have a mountain of student loan debt, and Bernie Sanders is the only person that's really stepped up to the plate to change that for us. And people can be so compelled by that in a way that you wouldn't even think. So I really encourage each and every one of you to take the time and to make phone calls. And beyond that, if you have made phone calls or if you haven't, we need to remobilize the Denver community in calling as many people as we can from phone banking parties. I think phone banking parties are personally one of the most fun things I've done. It was one of my first organizing experiences with the campaign. And essentially, all you have to do is go, we're going to have a bunch of sign-up forms, which I'll get to later, but what you're going to do, your event will get uploaded to map.berniesanders.com, which shows every single event that's happening in the country. And it's super great because some people don't know how to support Bernie. We have this very vibrant community in here, so you guys know some folks probably who are really involved with the movement, but not everybody does. Maybe they're a little bit far away, or they think that people in their community don't support Bernie. They might feel kind of disenfranchised by people around them. And it's our job to show them that we are in solidarity and that there are other Bernie supporters, and we want to call to make a difference. And that really helps people get involved, get motivated, make those calls, and move the movement forward, I suppose is the way to say it. So, I have a really big question I have to ask you all. So, I know that there are a lot of you in this room. There are a lot of you. I can't even see into that back corner over there, but I can see who's here, and I know that we've got a full house. So my question to you is, how many people, whether you're from the Denver metro area, whether you're from North Glen, Arvada, maybe you're from Boulder, maybe you're from somewhere else in a crazy part of the state. Where was that? Jeffco. We can't forget Jeffco.
Welcome, Jeffco.
Yeah. But whether you have a space in whether you have a little tiny apartment that can hold 3 people, or you have a giant mansion, or have a giant open space that somehow can fit 100 people in it, we want you to host a phone bank. That is what the campaign desperately needs right now. We really, really, really need folks to gather as many of their friends, fellow Bernie supporters, old Bernie supporters, new Bernie supporters, young, elderly, everybody, to get on the phones, to come together in phone bank parties, and to make calls to the states that have yet to vote, because if we're going to win this battle, we need those calls to go through as soon as possible. So, I guess what I want to ask is how many of you can host a phone bank in any capacity? It can be today, it can be tomorrow, it can be a week from now. The sooner the better. I want to see at least 25 phone banks pop up in the Denver metro area or wherever you're coming from. So if I could get a show of hands of who can host a phone bank, we will have someone guide you through the process of filling out a form, getting everything squared away on the website. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a lot of hands pop up. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I hope that, Jamie Cypher, if you're here, I hope that you printed enough forms for this, because this is going to get crazy. So, if I could get a show of hands once again from everybody that can host a phone bank anytime in the near future, raise them up, loud and proud. All right. Oh my God. Wow. If you all can keep your hands raised, we want you to go through and we want you to fill out these sign-up sheets that Michelle and some other folks are going to be passing around. These sign-up sheets are super, super simple to fill out. They're going to have your name, your email, zip code, address, general information about where your phone bank is going to be held. It's going to have a place for date and for time. And, you know, some fun facts on it. Like, I have 2 cats that love to be cuddled, so if you really like cats, come to this phone bank. If you really like pizza and beer, come to this phone bank. You know, if you want to hang out with my younger kids and entertain them while you're on the phone banking, please fill in this form and let us know. So if you can host, raise your hands loud and proud, and we're going to have some folks passing out clipboards to you. All right.
Can I talk for a second?
Hey guys, I have one thing I wanted to mention to you. So, I was on the phone with Bernie earlier today, believe it or not. And you know what he said to me? He said, Heather, I think we're going to need you to make sure you get 25 phone banks today, or else you're not going to come back to Burlington tomorrow. So, if you want to help me get a flight back to Burlington, I would really like that. I think my friends are sick of me couch surfing. So, if we can get as many phone banks going as possible, fill out those forms, raise your hand again if you need one, and when you're done, if you could come up to the stage, that would be excellent. So once you have that form filled out and you can come up, that would be great. I know it might be a little bit of a maze to get through, but please come up. Actually, while everyone's filling up their forms, do you think you could come to the front so everyone who's hosting a phone bank can say where they're hosting their phone bank, how many people it can fit, and a fun fact about their phone bank. So if anyone who has a clipboard can come up to the stage and say who they are and where their phone bank is and a fun fact, that would be excellent.
Hello.
My name is Jimmy Stafford, and I'm going to do a phone bank. And it's going to be on April 11th. Well, it's on a Friday. And people who are dog friendly will be preferred because we do have a dog. And we're going to have some fun. I'll be serving cocktails.
Jimmy, where were you from?
I am from Louisiana, but I live in Denver now. I'm in the Lowry area.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. All right. Can I have some other folks tell us where their phone banks are going to be?
Hi, Lisa and my friend Jan is hosting a phone bank on Thursday at her house in Northwest Aurora.
Mic to the mouth.
And we just
Put the mic to your mouth.
oh, we just planned it 5 seconds ago, so that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
I don't actually host a phone bank because I live in a studio apartment, one room. But what I do that I really enjoy is
Mic to the phone.
I'm really quite shy with phone banking. It completely freaked me out, quite frankly. And I started going to the East Colfax campaign office. And I feed off the energy of the staffers there. I love being around them and the other volunteers. And whether there's only 3 of us, the night before Super Tuesday, I think that the place was insane. There were like 50 people. It was just absolute mayhem. It was really fun. And so when I go on Wednesdays, and lately I've been going on Fridays from like 5:30 to 7:38, Jamie's there. He's absolutely wonderful at supporting people. And if he's tied up, I will train people. And I like to get what works for me, which real quick is being around other phone bankers will help you be less shy. If I can do it, anybody can. And when I get somebody who's undecided, like Utah is just bizarre. I called Utah last night. I don't know, I'm undecided, you know. And I asked them, this works really well because I'm so shy. What is important to you? I ask them what they care about, not what I am. And then they tell me, and I tell them what Bernie will help them with that, and I almost always can find something. So, anyway, come and see me at the campaign office.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Jamie Cipher, who's over there in the corner, for hosting these phone banks at the East office. So know that he's here. He's incredible. We love him. I've been organizing with him since July 29th, so if you don't know him, he's got a bun and a blue-collared shirt, and he's pretty cool. So definitely go talk to him. All right. Can I have a couple more people that are hosting phone banks come to the stage and tell us what's up with their phone banks?
Good evening, everybody. Oh wow, that's really loud. My apologies. Alright, my name is Jaden Thielen. I'm with House District 2, Precinct 233. I'm actually a Denver delegate. I'll be voting on Saturday. Super excited to be out for that. A little bit about myself. I'm actually only 19 years old. This is the first presidential election I've ever been a part of. Moved here from Idaho to gain my residency, go to college. Just some quick news from Idaho. I've been following some of the things that have been going on with my friends. Each and every caucus location they are at has overwhelming support for Bernie Sanders. So I am very happy to say that Idaho is indeed going to burn it down. It's going to be great. I'm actually going to be having a phone bank here on April 2nd. On a Saturday, there's going to be free popcorn, water, soda, and cannabis if you so choose. Being 19 years old and having a medical card means I can consume cannabis, but I cannot consume alcohol, therefore I can't serve alcohol. So that's what's happening. But I got actually inspired to join the political revolution because of the actions of T.C. Bell. That individual had a little bit of there was some kind of rally that was going on actually in Boulder back in, I believe it was in August. And so it's been an incredible movement. I've met a lot of people. It's been truly absolutely fascinating to be this involved in the political process, to be going on to be a delegate, especially being from such a red state. I have a lot of individuals that kind of find out that I'm going off to be a delegate for Bernie, and they're just kind of like, Jaden, what happened to you? You were raised in Idaho, kid. Like, what happened to you? Right, exactly. So I'm super happy to be here. The state's been extremely friendly. Like you said, I'm happy to be a part of one of the most well-organized Bernie movements across the nation, and you guys are all thankful for that, for real. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you tonight. Thank you so much, truly.
Thank you. Yes, so awesome. Okay, so for those of you that have filled out your forms, actually hold on to them for just a hot second, because at this point, we've had a few folks come up, tell us about their phone banks. Maybe if one more person wanted to come up and tell us about their phone banks, that would be awesome. But everybody who has a clipboard, hold on to it. I think that after this, we are gonna have everybody break out. And if you've heard about a phone bank that you think is gonna be really cool, or you're sitting next to your neighbor and you want to attend their phone bank, be sure that you go up to that person when I give the cue, which will be in a few minutes, and go up to them and say, hey, I want to attend your phone bank. Can I come? Is that okay? And everyone's going to say yes, because we want as many people on the phone as possible. So actually, I'm going to take 2 more people up. Maybe I could start right here. I think we finish your phone banker and go to this gentleman over here.
Okay, so my mom and I are going to host phone banks because I'm 17 and this is my first election. And so, I mean, we live kind of outside, more in Aurora, so if you don't live in Denver, because, you know, not everybody does anymore, guys. We'll be out there, but we have a pretty big dog, too. He's not that scary, but he's nice. But yeah, it'll be a fun first experience for me.
Thank you very much. And she'll be old enough to vote during the general election. Thank you. So super exciting. And then sir, if you want to come up, tell us about your phone bank.
All right, I'm Brian Rivera. I live at 1001 East Bayard. It's close by. It's Country Club Tower.
Put the phone to your mouth.
Country Club Tower, 1001 East Bayard. I'm Brian. I want to have a pizza and beer party, phone banking, and I've set up for April 9th from 4 to 7, but we can go as late as we can.
Great.
So please come.
Thank you very much. So we just heard from some of your very own community members who are committed to moving this revolution forward by opening up their homes. Maybe they have a library room, somewhere where they can hold a phone bank. And this is great, because this is exactly how we're going to win this election. So thank you all who have said that you will host a phone bank. So we really, really, really appreciate you. So with that, hold on just one moment. Yes, and so all of these forms are going to get put on map.berniesanders.com. So people will be able to see your phone bank, just do a search by zip code, and they'll know that there's a phone bank going on in their area and that they can attend it. So we will be collecting the forms at the end. But before we do that, I want everybody to go up to someone with a clipboard and say, hey, I want to come to your phone bank. When is it happening? Where is it at? And if that one doesn't quite match your location or schedule, go find the next person with a clipboard. So I want to take about 10 minutes to go ahead and do this. So everyone, if you want to find someone with a clipboard who's hosting a phone bank, please go do that right now, and we'll come together in 10 minutes. And to be clear, when you're phone banking, it's ideal that you have a phone and a laptop, or a phone and a tablet, but it can also work on just a laptop or just a phone. So know that whatever your technology need is, we can accommodate that with one of our dialer systems. So don't let technology issues hold you back from attending a phone bank. Clipboard, can bring it up to the stage, put it here so I can upload your event to map.berniesanders.com. Thank you, Jamie. Just drop it right here on the stage. We need every single clipboard so your event can get onto the website. You also come drop that would be great. All right, guys. I have a really big question for you. So, we like to do this thing at the end of every Barnstorm, and I want to show you what we can, I really want to show my bosses, my friends, my family, everybody, just how many people showed up in Denver tonight. And I was wondering, I have a little bit of a millennial ask, but would everybody want to take a selfie with me? All right, I'll take that as a resounding yes. So I'm gonna ask my friend Han right here to come off the stage, and he's got a really nice phone camera. So if everyone could try to squeeze toward the middle a little bit, we're gonna get Han's selfie arm ready, and he's gonna help us take this picture. Get as close to your neighbors as you can, because that's how it's gonna be at these phone banks when we tell them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sitting here. Oh, you're Jamie. Yeah, you Tim. I'm Jerry. Yeah, you're.
On the count of 3. All right, get into position. 3, 2, 1. Feel the bird! Ready? 1, 2, 3. Feel the bird! Thank you, Han.
Jeremy does it.
All right, and that concludes our Barnstorm. Thank you all so much. We have a quick announcement from a great volunteer who wanted to say something about some awesome Wyoming out of state, so I'm going to pass it to him.
Good evening. My name is Ethan, and I want to tell you really quickly about my weekend.
Hey, Jamie.
I went to Utah. 4 of us, road trip, 6 hours to Moab.
Sorry.
6 hours long drive. You might ask yourself, how effective a use of time is that? Well, I can tell you, it was extremely effective. I can also tell you that we did not see even the slightest sign of the other Democratic candidate anywhere. I kind of interpreted that as meaning the other candidate didn't really care. So, 4 of us went from Denver. We had 5 people from Cortez, which is about 2 hours away from Moab, show up. They drove 2 hours one way, 2 hours the other way, just to come and knock on doors for 1 day. We cleaned out our supply of Bernie signs, and Moab is well canvassed. Now, we have another neighboring state that is poor, is red, and needs our help. If anybody is into making the drive to Wyoming, and I don't know exactly what the details will be, exactly which town we'd be going to, but if you want to come this weekend, I don't want to take people away from phone banking because that is extremely important as well. So I can tell you, I feel pretty confident that again, we're going to be the only game in town. And people appreciate the fact that we are taking the time to knock on their doors, especially in a state like Wyoming where it is so red, and being a Democrat progressive has got to be a little bit awkward. So, keep an eye on the events page on the BernieSanders.com website. Something is likely to develop. It might be Saturday, it might just be Sunday because we have the county convention. So, Sunday morning, might be bright and early. A few people can't carpool and head out to do what we can in Wyoming. And I pretty much guarantee that we will have a big impact, and we'll be taking as many Bernie signs as we can.
Thank you very much. And with that, if you all have volunteer opportunities, please tell your neighbors about them, because we know incredible stuff is happening in the community. Post them on map.berniesanders.com, and above all, keep feeling the burn and have a great night, Denver. Thank you so much.